November 6th is National Nacho Day. Hashtag Nacho Day 2023. That's what this collaboration's all about. We're making steak fajitas into nachos. Are you ready to cook today? I'm ready to cook today because you know what? Tomorrow? Who knew there was such a thing? But there is. First thing we want to do is get some ingredients going to make these nachos beyond epic. Got some onion. We're just going to thinly slice the onions. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Oh, clear out your sinuses. And I am only cooking a tray of nachos for my husband and I, so I'm not going to go too crazy with the ingredients. So, amp up your ingredients. If you want to make a full tray for party day, oh my gosh, National Nacho Day happens to fall on a Monday. Monday Night Football, here's your treat right here for everybody. Nachos for game day. So we're going to go ahead and throw those in and just break them apart as you add them to the pan. That just ensures even cooking. And we're gonna add some red bell pepper. You can use any color of bell pepper that you prefer. I just like the red. My cameraman likes the red because it makes for an aesthetically pleasing shot. Plus, I'm not a big fan of green anyway. They're kind of harsh tasting. But your reds, your yellows, your oranges, fantastic. I'm gonna get the seeds and the ribs out. And we're gonna thinly slice this as well. You can leave these pieces however big you want. If you want like a really robust, hearty nacho, oh my gosh, chunk them instead of slice them. I've said it before, and I'll probably say it 37 more times. I give you the keys to the car. You drive it wherever you want. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add these to the pan as well. The way these nachos are gonna happen is we're not doing them the standard way where you add everything to the tray and then you bake it off in the oven. I live in a tiny home. I have a tiny kitchen. I don't even have an oven. I have an air fryer. So we are pre-cooking all of the toppings and then we're gonna layer it. It's going to be fantastic. So this is part of a collaboration. It's called Hashtag Nacho Day 2023. Be sure to check out all the other channels that are involved in this collaboration. I bet you're gonna see some really epic nachos. While we're waiting on that though, let's go ahead and get our beef. So this beef, oh, it's fantastic. I get it at my local grocery store and it's just shaved steak and it is absolutely fantastic for stuff like this. You don't want a big chunk like this, so I'm just going to kind of just give a rough chop to this steak because you always want to think about the person who's going to be eating these, especially nachos. Nachos are a one bite food. You are not going to use a knife and fork when you eat nachos. You know what though, if you do, that's okay. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it just isn't right. For the onions and the peppers, you know what? Cook it according to your taste as well. I like my peppers and my onions to still have a little bit of bite to them, a little bit of crunch to them. I don't like when they get soft and soggy, especially on a nacho. So mine are just about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's add those seasonings I was telling you about. You can cheat, go out, buy a bag of fajita seasoning, that's okay. I happen to have an insane spice arsenal, so I am making my own. We have got chili powder, salt, smoky paprika, you can use regular if you prefer, sugar, garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, and cayenne pepper. And I'm just gonna give those just a quick little mix in the bowl and then we're gonna dump them in. And in they go. Anytime you add dry spices to any dish, you wanna allow it to cook off for at least a minute before you pull it from the heat, just to kind of get the flavors out of those raw spices. And we're gonna go ahead and add our meat now. Because this is shaved steak, it doesn't take long at all. Oh, those onions are coming along beautifully. They've got a nice caramelization coming. So we are just about done with this. Give it about one more minute. I wish you had smell-o-vision because I wish you could smell the spices that are in here. The aromatics that are coming off of this pan are just insane. I could grab a fork right now and just dig in. Give it one more quick stir just to make sure I don't have any more pink in there. We are good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my heat. I'm gonna remove it from the heat because I don't want it to keep cooking because I don't want it to overcook, and I'm just gonna put it onto a plate and we'll come back to it in a little bit. Oh my gosh, give me a fork right now. We're gonna call it done. Thanks for watching, bye. Just kidding, we're not done yet. Now, for nachos, you can just use shredded cheese if you want. You can just put Put the cheese on there, bake it off in the oven like I said before. I don't have an oven, so we are going to make a cheese sauce. So the first thing we want to do is get some butter going in our pan. With any good cheese sauce, step one is make your roux. That's what we're going to do right now. As always, description below will have the full recipe of what we're making today. That way you don't have to try to follow along. But today is Sunday, National Nacho Day is tomorrow, so that gives you all day to write out your recipe on a piece of paper if you need to and get all your ingredients to go. You want to make sure that your butter is completely melted before we add our flour in. Otherwise, the flour will tend to clump up on that butter and it'll be a little bit harder to break down. And we're going to give that a mix, and we were going to let this go for about 30 seconds to a minute. You want to cook out that raw flour flavor, but you want to keep stirring it as well because you don't want it to burn. All right, now we're going to add the next ingredient we are adding a little bit of sweet chili sauce, and then equal parts of just milk and heavy cream. I just like to continually stir when I add in the liquid just to keep the flour from kind of clumping up a bit. All right, we're going to let that go just for a little bit here to kind of thicken up. So while that's doing its thing, let's get our cheeses ready. I am using pepper jack and just a mild cheddar. These both melt wonderfully. You can buy pre-shredded cheese if you prefer. I just don't like the way it melts down. It has a tendency sometimes to break. And you can do all cheddar if you like. You can do all pepper jack if you like. I like the combination of a mild cheddar with the pepper jack. Pepper jack can be a little bit in your face if you're not into the spice thing. And so this just helps kind of cool it down a little bit. All right, let's start right there. This is just about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my air fryer going, and we're gonna toast our chips off in the air fryer. And it does not take long. I just wanna toast them a little bit. So we're gonna go 5 minutes at about 360. They've got a nice crunch, so they're gonna scoop beautifully. All right, in they go. All right, this is ready to go. I've turned the heat down a little bit. The consistency of this looks great. Let's add our cheese. And at this stage, you wanna stir, stir, stir so that it doesn't clump up on you. I think that's the perfect amount of cheese. That right there, that is the consistency you want. Oh gosh, it smells so good. We've got a few more things to cut for this nachos. And these are just some fresh from the garden tomatoes that I got. I'm just gonna slice up a couple of tomatoes to go on top. And again, think of the person who's gonna be eating this and you don't want big chunks. You just want nice bite-sized little pieces, just like that. And our avocado. If you don't want to put fresh avocado on yours, you don't have to. You can certainly just use guacamole on the side. I opted this time around to go with a fresh avocado just to add a little bit of freshness to this dish. And again, I'm just going to cut it into bite-sized little chunks. Watch your fingers. You know, and it must work my saying that because I've not cut off my finger yet. Oh, I love fresh avocado. I think it's time to construct these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful nachos. We are gonna do this in 2 layers. Oh, those are hot chips. I'm just gonna dump out a couple. 1 layer to start, chips. Next layer is the cheese. Ladle's gonna be the easiest way to do it. You just wanna try to drizzle it. You wanna hit every chip. Nobody wants to get a dry chip. I certainly don't wanna get a dry chip. Now let's do a layer of this. And yep, I'm going in with my hands because they're clean. And we're just gonna get some steak. You want to spread it out. We're doing 2 layers, so basically use half on each layer. That's how I'm going to judge it. You want to try to make it to where you're going to get a piece of steak, some peppers, some onions in every bite. All right, there's layer. Oh, let's get some more right there. And another layer of chips. They're very hot. You know what? Tongs. Probably be a good idea to use some tongs. Tongs. Puh-puh. And another layer of cheese. Cheese pull. And again, make sure you get every chip coated with this glorious cheese sauce. And then the rest of our steak and mixture is going to go right on top. Again, think about the person taking that bite and spread it out to where they're going to get a little bit of the goodness in every bite. You know, I should probably be wearing gloves too, but it's not raw meat. It's just touching raw meat. It's kind of not a fan. All right, and our fresh tomatoes and avocados go next. Same thing, on they go. And if you don't like tomatoes, Don't use tomatoes. If you want more tomatoes, add more tomatoes. Your nachos. Nacho my nachos. Nacho my nachos? Nacho my nachos. No, that doesn't sound right. And the avocado. Nacho mama. We're not done yet. Oh no. We have one last thing to do. Now you can just serve these with some sour cream, guacamole, whatever on the side. I actually made up a sour cream drizzle sauce recipe. The recipe for this will also be in the description below if you choose to use it. It's fantastic. Fantastic. It is just sour cream, apple cider vinegar, a little sugar, and just a hint of mayonnaise to thin it out a bit. That's it. And there you have it. So now you've got all day today to practice this, change it up, make it your own. Oh yeah, I'm going in. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of avocado, a little bit of the steaks on there. Well, it's gonna require a big mouth. Don't even say it. Oh my gosh, wow. Definitely have some napkins on hand, maybe some wet wipes. They're definitely not messy, not messy, but they are definitely delicious. So as always, thank you so much for joining me here at Annie's Smoking Pot. And until next time, bye. Oh, be sure to like and subscribe.